So we're here with Ivan from the Ukrainian Armed Forces, and I would really love to hear your story, man. Hi, Ivan. So I understand you were like a IT startup tech guy before the war started. Can you talk, what did you do before 24th of February?
With pleasure. Actually, I'm the serial IT entrepreneur, founded several companies, mostly in the IT. Founded several startups, exited one, and actually currently I'm co-founder of the FinMap, cash flow management tool for small and mid-sized businesses. And we've just closed the round before the full-scale invasion, and that actually helped us to survive as a company. And it was a funny story because like the level of different moods, you know, like you just close the round, but the war came. Yeah. Then like, okay, we just evacuated all the people. Unfortunately, not all of them. Actually, some of our employees were on the occupied territories because we are a small, totally remote company. We were totally remote even before the COVID, so it's like our business culture. So it's okay to be somewhere else, but it's also very hard to manage like all the evacuations of our employees and their relatives and our relatives. So like the first couple of weeks we spent for all kind of evacuations and relocations.
And I mean, if the war started, you were doing all of these startup companies. You had, you just closed the round, as you say, and then you were mobilized. I understand, forcefully mobilized. Like, it wasn't your free will to go to the army.
That's a tricky question because first day I was evacuating all of my relatives to the western part of Ukraine, and we stayed there for some time. We haven't even clue like what huge amount of time we will be there. Like our mood was like it should not happening, so it should stop like in a week or something like this. That was like our first thoughts. Maybe on the second week, when we understood that okay, we will be sometime here, like we were near Chernivtsi in the western part of Ukraine. Oh, thanks. Is it okay?
Maybe later.
Yeah, is it okay that I order something?
Fine.
Yeah, super live. So, after I evacuated all of my family members to the western part of Ukraine, I decided to stay there, but I had to notify the local military office that I was relocated from the Kiev to the western part. So if they need me, I'm here. They have to know my phone number, my military specialty, because during the university, that's like special program in Ukraine, you could become an officer. You have to learn during 2 years some kind of specialty, and I'm the I'm trying to translate it in English, like the second person in the unit whose main responsibility is the moral state of soldiers in our unit. So that's like my main specialty.
Your main responsibility is the moral state of the soldiers.
Yeah.
That's like connected to some military psychology thing, right?
Something like this, yeah. Because military psychology is absolutely not similar to the civilian one. I will tell you some stories.
What would be your tasks then? How would you see a soldier shell-shocked or really out of their element? How do you go on about it?
The main one, actually, help them to survive. Because I was mobilized to the absolutely new, huge unit of 500 people, and all of them were mobilized, so civilian just a couple of weeks ago. And because of the lack of experience and lack of knowledge maybe, once you are under artillery fire, you are instinctively trying to run.
Yeah.
But that's the only thing you have not to do, because lots of small parts of those missiles and would just strike you down, and that's all. So the only thing you have to do is just lie down and don't move in the deepest hole in the ground, nearest and deepest. That's like the main task for you to survive, and that was my main job I would say. Like not the only one, but one of the most useful. I will draw you some story. After the mobilization, couple of weeks of trainings, we've been moved to the ground zero on the Lugansk district, and we were there a couple of weeks, and it was like almost 24 hours of artillery rain, I would say. I actually counted that on 24 hours, during those 24 hours, only 3 or 4 hours was quiet. All other time was just artillery rain, that's all. And we've been okay with the mortar artillery fire, because it's like small explosions, it's okay, no problem. Small shelters or small trenches could help you, but those bigger one like 155, that's shitty.
That's what, like that's the barrel, something like that.
They're the biggest explosions of under our heads, because we were in the building, and once we came in that, it was like 2 floors and the roof. In a couple of weeks after we were evacuated from there, was no roof, was no second floor, and we were seeing like sky from the first floor. That's how it was. And after our evacuation, we've been thinking that we are in a safe place, because it was like 15 kilometers from the ground zero where we were, but we didn't know that at the same time the line was moved. Actually, it was like we are here and the line was like this, but for a couple of days it was moved like here, and our evacuation here was actually almost in the ground zero. And I assume that enemy's UAV spot us and saw us, and we've been hit by some super targeted missile, which exploded like 10 meters, 15 meters near me. I was saved just because I was so exhausted. I was just lying down, didn't move, because I just couldn't move, you know, like super exhausted.
Did you have the impulse to run?
No, because I know the experience. And actually, the previous couple of weeks we were on the ground zero, so I was educating all of my guys and like helping them to manage their stress in the trenches and so on, because and I'm not some kind of moral guy who like sitting somewhere like 20 kilometers away. I was with the guys on this ground zero all the time, so that was the only chance to keep them in shape.
So I ask you, as a civilian right now, you teach this to soldiers. How do you manage stress on battlefield? How do you manage the mental pressure?
For different people, it should be done by different approaches. I mean, different personalities. Because some of them are just shocked and don't move, you know, like freezed. And the only thing on that block post after our evacuation, there was like a super targeted missile and a lot of artillery fire after that. And a lot of them tried to run, because they were thinking that that's a couple of kilometers they could handle. But that's no way they have to do, because I literally punch them, kick them, fight with them just to let them down and don't move.
All of it happened while the artillery was like you fighting your own guys for them.
Yes, that was.
Oh my God.
That was super messy, because fortunately all of my guys, 70 people, was evacuated safely. But on that block post, the time were more than 100 people, and I saw lots of body parts, lots of bodies, and not in the best shape. So the only reason my guys survived, because I was screaming a lot of them, I was punching them, and only thing I remember that I was screaming to them like, buy five, only buy 5, you and you. Wait like for my command, and you're just hearing mostly you can hear those missiles coming with those Swiss, I don't know how to translate, like
whistling sound.
Yeah. So once you can hear like it's quiet for a couple of seconds, you could try to run, but once you hear whistling once again, just lay down. And I was evacuating all of those guys, and I went with the latest fifths. And I was the only one who knew the way of the evacuation. Like, this was the T-shaped corner, and we have to go right. On the left was the enemy, and like they tried to run somewhere, and there was also the minefield nearby. So like only in the bushes, only in the one road.
So you see your men and they're panicking, and they would run to the enemy. They would run to the minefield if you don't guide them, right? That's the situation.
Yeah, so that's what we've managed to do.
So you kept your guys alive? Kind of.
Yes, yes. They saved me a bunch of times. That was one I saved them. Yeah, and on the ground zero, like
That was near what part of the front?
Popasna.
Popasna?
Yeah, the Popasna.
Okay.
You have to pick different approaches for different person. For example, we have one guy who, I don't know how they joined the armed forces, but they panically afraid of the blood. Yeah, literally panically. So, like with panic attacks.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and he was on the ground zero. But we handle it in the best way, I think. Because you know how the ammo came to you, to the ground zero? Like with the huge wood boxes.
Oh, yeah.
Inside those wood boxes, the huge metal boxes, you have to
carry those.
Really tough. Like, no, that's a lot of work.
They're very heavy.
Yeah, they're really heavy. That's a really hard task to do. And we were spending a lot of ammo. I couldn't count how much. Like every day, the new supply machine came and like threw to us a couple of boxes of the ammo.
So how close to the machine truck drives to the positions? How long have to walk with them?
Actually, on our place, it was we had like 1.5 kilometers of the line inside the village, and the positions like trenches and like secret positions were. Just a second, I'll double check my car. Yeah, it's there. Okay, sorry, because I parked not the best way. So 1.5 kilometers. Yeah, we had like 10 positions in a line, and in distance from those positions to the header position, yeah, of this line was like 200-300 meters.
Oh, okay.
And the car was driving just directly to our head position, but it was like on the radio. We got the info that they are coming. They just on a bloody speed, like just came to you, threw all the things away, and moved back. And in a couple of minutes, we have artillery fire just on the place where the car.
Were you able to get the ammunition out of the?
Yes, we had to make it like in a couple of minutes. That's all. Like
run and grab everything you can.
Grab, like threw it all into our place, and that's all.
So that means Russians had a drone up or some ice somewhere?
They had lots of different drones in that time.
So you know they're always watching at that time?
Yeah, my guys actually more afraid of the drones, of the UAVs, like, because even that time, it was in May, the enemy were using some grenades from drones or something like this. Yeah, and we lost some guys because of that.
So if that's the silent killer, you don't see it, you don't hear it, and you see the grenade in front of you, and that's it, right? How does it work?
The trickiest part that if you will shoot it, if you try to shoot it, you will definitely disclose yourself, because when gun is shooting, it's like the huge cloud of fire.
Dust and fire. Right?
Yeah, okay. So you definitely will be disclosed, and the only thing we do not to do, because we have some specific positions, maybe like under some buildings, under some trees, something like that. Yeah.
So what do you do if you know or hear the drone? You're gonna stay and hope it's not gonna drop on you?
The best option, don't move at all, because you could be just unseen. Because if you're moving, you definitely will be spotted. Yeah. But if you see that drone definitely captured you, how you could see it, like he is just under you and trying to like focus himself. Yeah, I do not have like the best solution, but the only solution is run, but only in the trenches, somewhere away from those.
Because I mean, technically you could outrun the drone, or they're not that easy to control. A running soldier is pretty hard to catch with a drone.
If you were delivering some grenades or something like this, yeah, it's not easy to capture someone who is moving, but it could be done, unfortunately.
Okay.
And then, okay, if you already disclosed, you could try to shut it down by the.
It is possible to shoot it down, right?
Yes, definitely. They are doing it all the time, and we are doing it all the time. Yeah.
So these DJI drones, whatever drones, they're going daily. Like, okay, we lost another one, bring in another one, right? It's not like a huge loss. It's just something that goes out every day.
That's also the same with the car. I mean,
Yeah.
like cars and drones are lost, like are losing a couple of times per day.
I mean, that's what Ragnar is doing here with the convoy, 11 cars to be delivered, right? So, and altogether, I think it's like 130 he has delivered, and he was telling that people don't understand really in Estonia or in some other countries that we have given so much cars, so much everything. Why? What's up? Why do they need more? But they get destroyed. It's
Yes.
war.
And you even could not imagine how easily. So, for example, for a couple of weeks on the ground zero, we've lost 4 cars, and one was damaged to like, almost to the ground. But in a couple of months, we like repaired it. But how it is destroyed? You're actually just delivering some supplies, and someone. As I just mentioned about the artillery story, yeah, it could be just crashed by the artillery just in the second or in a minute. It is delivering something. Just like stop on the final position, you try to grab all the presents from there, and artillery fire comes. Or it could be just anti-tank, like something like RPG. The same as Javelin or something.
I mean, a car is like a civilian pickup truck that you guys use to transport these equipment to the front. I mean, they're so soft. Artillery shrapnel could tear through the engine, right?
But we do not have any other option.
Yeah.
So that's why the driver in the armed forces is one of the most dangerous option to be. Yeah, ground forces and especially all of them are not so safety, but drivers, because mostly if people hear like, oh, he is a driver, he is doing nothing. Nope, way, because he is delivering on the ground zero or something.
High value targets immediately.
Yes,
Trucks or
definitely.
anything, yeah.
And speaking about not disclosing ourselves, I will also draw you some picture how it was. And what I actually experienced, and I was shocked because of this. Like, on the second day, we captured the radio of the enemy, because like our main task was just like grab this line and do not pass the enemy. But they were attacking like 3-4 times per day and night, per 24 hours, I would say.
With armor, with infantry?
Mostly by the mobilized guys, and that's the shitty thing that they are doing now. They mobilized like hundreds of thousands of people and doing the same strategy. And how it was? Under their artillery fire, they let go their mobilized guys. And we heard literally by words how they said to themselves, like, let go those one-time usage guys.
One-time usage.
One-time usage.
Biomass, right?
Like biomass, yeah, like the meat. I was like, what? What? You're saying this about your people? And they even do not stop their artillery, so they could even hit themselves.
What the hell?
And the only reason they are doing it, to disclose our position. So we start to shoot them, and they will see where we are, and then artillery fire will go on directly for this place. And we are trying to either switch position fast, or using our artillery to make those guarding fire, like a lot of artillery in the line. That's what we were doing. And actually, the continuing of those phrases, let those one-time usage guys move. the other Russian soldier answering like, I tried, but they don't want to go. Okay, shoot one and they will. I already did. And I was like, what the fuck, I am listening.
That was through like the walkie-talkies you heard?
Yeah.
Oh my
I
god.
got one of those.
And that was like when?
On the May. It was
May.
on the May, yeah. And they're continuing doing the same.
That was
I
even
have-
before like the Wagner prisoners and all of that stuff. Like it was.
And then how it finished, like they actually started to shooting those mobilized guys from their part, so they have to run on our side.
So they shot
That's-
one, they didn't want to go, they shot another one, and like that, right? It's intimidation tactics.
Something like this. And only after like a couple of days of those kind of attacks, like 3-4 attacks per day, a couple of days in a row, we were super exhausted. And only after that, some more trained guys from Russian forces came with some with 2 tanks actually and 1 BTR and like
So
heavy armored vehicle.
what was the outcome of that then?
We had to ask the like additional guys to came who were specialized for the anti-tanks weapon. We also used one, but to be honest, we were mostly using RPG. When we hit 2 tanks, one was absolutely okay after our shot, but the second one was like just the head of the tank was slipped, like fixed in one position, but the tank was like did several more shots in a row just without even like targeting, just shooting our territory, that's all,
At the
and
area.
move back, that's all. And yeah, we lost actually.
So would you
couple
say
guys.
an RPG for a T-72 Russian tank, you would take 2 to 3 shots of RPG?
It depends of where you targeted it, but unfortunately we targeted not in the right place.
So you guys have the only anti-tank capability you had back then was an RPG, and if you wanted those tanks destroyed, you had to bring in another unit.
Yeah, who was specialized on that, yeah.
And what did they have? What weaponry?
Javelin and Laos, yeah, and Laos.
They don't miss, right? Javelins.
Yeah, yeah, but that was like a couple of times. First time we just asked the artillery coverage, and our guys worked perfectly with 777, and like stopped that attack.
That is big enough to take down a tank, right?
Yes, if you shoot
Closer.
directly on it.
But if it lands directly next to it, it still damages the.
Once again, it depends, because they do have those like special safety equipment near all the tank, you know. Like, yeah, it wasn't messy.
So you invited them in, and they did the job. They destroyed the BTR,
Yeah.
the tank, and
Yes, at least they made them move back.
so as much as I understand you, the Russian tactic was to exhaust you and reveal your positions with biomass, the one-side usage guys.
And that is the same they are doing right now. And more than that, currently like communicating with a lot of different ground forces on different parts of the line. And Russians continue doing the same. But additionally on that, during like huge amount of people just going through the field, some of them more specialized and could even wear our uniform. I saw it on pictures, and that's shitty because you do not know who's who. That's out of some kind of rules of the war.
Oh yeah, that's a war crime, definitely. That is.
War crime, yeah.
But I mean,
that's how they
do you
do.
still see Russians still having the designed forces, the paratroopers, the airborne troops, the elite forces?
You mean the airborne?
Yeah, do they still use them in battle?
Yes. I mean, if we are talking about some jets, I don't know. That was funny that our joke on the ground zero was like, okay, mortar is absolutely okay. Bigger artillery like 155, it's like, that's shitty, but we could survive a couple of more shots. Tank is something we really afraid of because it was literally like creating hole in the building. Like the building was like this. We were here and the enemy was here, and the tanks were literally creating some hole in this way to grab us. And we were like, okay, we have maybe a couple of more days to stay in this place, and then we have to move.
Because it's so holy, like a Swiss cheese. Right?
Yeah, like a Swiss cheese. And then we were like, the biggest pain in the ass, the helicopters, because those bullets were directly like on the ballistic trajectory.
The rockets
because
they shoot like.
Yeah, they are shooting just huge bullets actually, not the rockets.
Really?
Like those, yeah. And they are doing it then like you're pitching nose to the up and doing some ballistic strategy. Yeah. That's what they were doing. Actually, that's why we didn't manage to shoot at even one, because they just rise on the ground on some not so huge altitude, doing these ballistic shots and going down.
They don't want to fly because they would shoot them down. Yeah.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, our holes also, our building was also with huge amount of those holes, and you have to lie super down, just like pitching yourself to the ground, because those bullets was literally near your head. But and I was once, I will explain the story. I have so many stories like this. And it's funny to remember this now, but it wasn't funny that time.
Okay.
But we were joking, like the helicopters, the most like dangerous for us. But if you hear the jet, you could even take off your helmet because nothing would help you. But enemy's jets were flying like under us to some bigger headquarters than ours. Like bigger commanders.
I mean, as much as I know, if Russians use like Su-25s, MiGs, whatever, they will be shot down also pretty effectively.
Currently, yeah, because we've got much more anti-air weapon.
Right now, they don't even want to fly at all, right?
On the May, we didn't have, so. Yeah.
What you hear a jet, you just you.
If you hear the jet, you could do nothing. You would just smoke and that's all. Because if you will
can't do anything, right?
Yeah, if the air bomb, will be dropped from that jet, nothing would help you. Nothing actually. Okay, in the maybe in some bigger places where some bigger commanders were, they could go like under fifth floors building, like even under it in some shelters, it could save you. But not for sure. We were on the first ground, like first level. Nope, nothing could help us.
Yeah, if they have these huge 500-kilogram bombs or 1-ton bombs even, they take down everything, right?
Yeah, we were joking, like, if they will use this bomb to us, so we were fighting so good, so the only air bomb could hit us.
Yeah, that's a compliment for you, like, the bigger the bombs, the better we are, right?
Yeah. That was
and you got
choice
to what, 155?
Yeah, lots of them. And after we saw the sky from the first floor, we had to change the position.
Okay.
Just not on the back, but left, right, and stay on the same line.
Okay, thank you for sharing your stories of battle with me.
Welcome.
It was really interesting to hear to it, and it's really lovely to see that you like talk about it and you smile actually. So.
Because that's our new reality, and we have to keep living.
Yeah.
Там слава.
Okay, Slava Ukraini.
Героям слава. Дякую. Thank you.